Congresswoman Frederica Wilson adding herself to a growing list of Democrats who are boycotting President Trump's State of the Union address as Congressman John Lewis takes aim at the president.
I don't think there's any way that you can square what the president said with the words of Martin Luther King Jr. It made me sad. It made me cry. I think he is a racist.
Well, that makes 4 Democrats now refusing to go to the State of the Union. So is this sending the wrong message on Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
Yeah, here to react is the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Fox News contributor Alveda King. Thank you so much for coming on this morning, and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to you, of course. And I just want to start with, to boycott the State of the Union. I want to get your reaction on that, and also I want your reaction on what the president allegedly said last week that's had the media in such an uproar.
Well, I'm looking down just for a moment at a book I have in my hand. It's called King Truths. It's my newest book, and it's going to be released tomorrow. And I hope that Congressman John Lewis and many of those who are so disgruntled hear this, because this is a quote from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my uncle. He said, "I am convinced that men hate each other because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because they don't communicate with each other. And they don't communicate with each other because they are separated from each other." Now, those are the words of my uncle, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis, knows so many of my uncle's words. And I remember all of the work that Congressman Lewis did in the 20th century in the Civil Rights Movement. I marched and went to jail too, and for open housing. So I'm asking the congressman to lead us in a unifying effort. So to be crying and disgruntled and angry, that's understandable. I mean, I'm not going to knock that at all. But it's better if he will go ahead, communicate with the president, and to boycott the State of the Union address is not going to begin to resolve the problem. So I believe that we're going to have to call for unity. Protests have their place. You know, there's a word in the Bible, there's a time and season for everything, but there's a time that you get past that protest in the Kingian nonviolent process of communicating and resolving for a win-win situation.
Well, let me ask you about this. In the past few days, the racism term has been thrown around a lot in regards to President Trump. Do you think that's fair?
I don't believe it's fair in the case of President Trump. I consider President Trump to be a leader with this understanding, because he has said more than once, we, no matter what color our skin is, bleed red. And there's another word, of one blood God made all people. So we can be brothers and sisters. My uncle said we must learn to live together as brothers, and I as sisters, or perish as fools. How are we going to learn to live together if in these protests we keep stirring up emotions and tears and people are angry? It won't work that way.
Ms. King, let me just get your reaction, though, to what was allegedly said in that meeting. I mean, what was before all the pundits got in on this, what was your initial reaction when you heard it?
First, I was not in the meeting, but immediately when I heard it, understanding the work that President Trump is doing in America and around the world, drain the swamps in America first and then move out, bring the job rate up, put people back to work, get people out of jail so they can work and be productive in society. So then he looks at the corrupt societies in other countries, the hellholes in other countries where corrupt leaders have taken everything away from the people, and the people are oppressed, so oppressed that they want to leave and move to a country where they believe things are better. Well, those leaders need to change what they're doing so that the people can enjoy their own home where they are living, you see? So President Trump addressing that oppression and corruption called them a word that I don't use, but I will say that there are hellholes in America and all around the world, and as the swamp is drained, we've got to have enough compassion to help every person everywhere. And I believe the president understands that.
We have about 10 seconds to go, but on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, what is your message for America?
Serve each other, love each other, help each other. That's a lesson I learned from my Uncle Martin, my Daddy A.D., and Daddy King.
Well, I tell you what, we really appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much for waking up early. You shouldn't have to wake up early on your uncle's holiday, but you did for us, and we do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Coming up, why you should never